Hello and welcome to another Beyond CAD live stream with myself, Sam Lytle. I'm the creator of Beyond CAD. I say creator, but we have a wonderful team of programmers that make this possible. The one that's been working on today's feature is John, and he's done an amazing job making the custom sign creator. So just a few note keeping items. One is that I'm doing these every Tuesday, at least until the Tuesday before Christmas, and we'll see if I continue after that. And these are also available afterward, so you can watch them on YouTube or on beyondcad.com/tutorials. Also, just an overview of what Beyond CAD is, which is it's a 3D visualization engine built specifically for transportation and civil projects. It does not do the modeling. It is not a magic button that you can push. What it is a environment where you can import your 3D files from inroads, OpenRoads, Civil 3D, InfraWorks, and so on. You can texture them, you can add 3D assets, you can add traffic, and use our features to really bring your project to life. And one of those features is the ability to create custom signs within Beyond CAD. And this is very powerful because I've spent many hours modeling signs one by one in SketchUp. I'm sure many of you have done similar things in Blender or 3ds Max. And so we wanted to make sure that with Beyond CAD, sign creation would be as easy as possible. And you'll see how that works today. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the chat box. If not, I'll just move forward. So we're going to start with this scene. I'll switch back to my other screen. And this is the Boulder City Bypass Complete Streets project. This is modeled by Civil FX, a division of Parametrics. They are our preferred partner for modeling. So if you do need modeling on your project, make sure to reach out to them at civilfx.com. You can also find out more about them and about Beyond CAD at beyondcad.com. This is a project located near Las Vegas, Nevada, and this is running live in Beyond CAD. So we're going to place a sign here because in real life there is a sign, and this is a project that's built today, and so this is probably the sign that would be here. And I have the sign over in the other screen, but I just want to create it here. I'm not going to show it to you, at least not now. So over here on the left is our toolbar. We've talked about this before in the user interface, and today we're going to stop on creation tools. And someday we hope to have more creation tools, including things like a guardrail creator, power line creator, custom tree creator. But today, so far, we have our sign creators. And we're going to start with an overhead sign, and then we'll do a roadside sign next. So when you first click the button, you have two options, and that's to create the sign in the current scene, or you can create the sign in a blank scene. And we're going to create in the current scene for the overhead sign, and then we'll use the blank scene feature for the other sign. So current scene is really nice because you can place it exactly where that sign is going to be in the real world. And so again, I know where the sign is, and it's going to be in the middle of the road for just a second, but it's attached to your cursor. You click, and then it's just going to hold it there for a second while you adjust these values to get it where it needs to be. So we're going to rotate it over, and then we have our location. We're going to want it right here. It's actually right in the sidewalk. And then our Z, we can adjust that as well. And we'll adjust these a little bit more. But this is just kind of to get us started. So we're going to confirm placement. And I'm going to kind of walk through what these settings are. So the first is the pole type. You can see the pole that we have by default, but you can also do this pole. You can do this square type pole and this lattice type structure. We're going to go with pole 2 here. And then we have 4 different frame types. We have truss, lattice, triangle, and tube. And each of these dynamically adjusts when you are building your sign out. So we're going to use the truss type today because that's what's existing, and then you can change the color of the structure. We can change the pole diameter, and the one that I'm looking at is actually pretty thick. and it's because it's a cantilever pole. And then our pole height, we can adjust that as well. We're not going to get too crazy with our pole height on this one. We'll do about, let's do 25. These are our spin boxes in our user interface. You can drag and click and drag them, or you can click and type the values in there. And then the last one is width. And it's going to be a little different because it's pulling from the left side. And so we're going to have to adjust it a little bit more on this example, but I'm going to leave it. Actually, we're going to make it a little shorter. And then you can add a base. So we're going to do a square base and then hide pole. So you can hide the left pole, you can hide the right pole, so you can make a cantilever on either side. Or you can do both poles hidden if you have your own structure, and then you can even do no structure at all. And this is especially useful if you're doing like a sign on a bridge, for example, and you already have the bridge. You can just hide everything else and you'll be able to edit the sign panel. So we're going to, and again, if you want both, you can click that again. So we're going to just do pole 1, and then we're going to go back to edit placement because now it's in the middle of our road. So let's go back, and we don't want our cars running through this, and then we don't want this all the way sticking out, just a little bit. All right. So now we have our sign, and we're going to want 2 sign panels on this. And so there's already one by default. So we're going to put this right over the lane, and then you click here to add a second sign. And this sign you want to move over as well. I'm not sure I adjusted the scale. All right, so we're going to have one over each of these lanes, and that's why I did 2. And once you do these 2 signs, then you can edit them individually. So we're going to go, let me move it over just a little bit more. Let's go to 40. Too much. So let's do 41. There we go. All right, so let's click it. And then once you click it, then you can go to Edit Sign Detail, this blue button right here. Zooms you right in automatically. Really slick stuff by John on this. Okay, so I'm looking at my sign over here again on the right screen, and I'm going to try and copy it over. And so you can add multiple lines of text, and we're going to start with historic district. And then you scroll down and you can edit where that text position is, and you can edit the size. So it's a little big, and we want to put it down just a little bit more. All right, we want to do other text, which is Nevada Way. Don't want them on top of each other, so I'm going to drop that down right there. And then we have one more line of text on this one, which is right 2 lanes. And that's caps, and it will respect the capital. And we're going to drop it down, and that's a lot smaller. Something like that. And then we're going to actually do another trick, which is you can add a sign. A lot of times you'll see a sign above, and you can snap that to the bottom. We're going to actually scale that, and because in this scenario it covers both of them. And so we want to do the text, which is Lake Mead dash Hoover Dam Via. Okay, and it looks a little bit bigger, so we'll go here and we'll scroll the size of that text. Okay, so once you're done with that sign, then you're going to click this back button, and we want to edit the other one. So we click the Beyond CAD selector icon, and it will take us back to, it will allow us to edit that sign detail by clicking on the blue button again. So now we're editing this left sign panel. All right, so there's a really cool feature, which is you can add decals. And so we can add up to 5 decals. We'll add one here, which is a highway badge. And you can import your own custom decals via PNG file, which is what I should probably do on this if I was doing it for an actual project, because it says 93 because it's Highway 93, but I'm just going to use the white one for now. So I'm going to go move that up and move that over, and it's smashed a little bit. So I'm going to unlink the X and Y scales and make that a little bigger. And then you can also rotate the decal as well. So now we're going to add our text. And the other decals you can add are fraction, like 1/4 of a mile or 1/4 of a kilometer. We have interstate badge, arrow split, lane arrow. Those are going to be really commonly used for your projects. All right, so we're going to add text, which is business. Let's go down and adjust the position and raise it up a little bit, and then the scale. And one other feature I really want to point out is you can import custom decal and just make it, I don't know if it's here, maybe I'll show you when we go back, but if you have your own like sign CAD files as JPEGs, you can just import that image and put it right over the sign panel, and then just use the structure feature within Beyond CAD to really put your signs together quickly. All right, so we have our business text, and then we're going to go and do Boulder City Parkway. Being able to type would be helpful right now. All right, we want to change our text size a little bit and then bring that down. And then we're going to do one more line of text, which is left 2 lanes. Not sure why they don't have the down arrows, probably because it's 2 lanes and not just one. I'm not a sign designer myself, and I'm going to bring that down. So we're going to go back. Now we have our sign created, and I'm going to go publish. So what that does is it puts the sign in place in our model, and it also is something that we can edit. So you see the selector icon down here. It's going to be closer to the pole on the left, and we don't have a pole on the left. That's why it's kind of floating by itself. And now we can adjust it from using the gizmo right here, the transform gizmo within the scene. And then you go to organize, and it shows here as well. And so we can turn that on and off, and like any other asset. So let me get my camera down here because I want to bring this over and see how good we did. I think we did pretty good for about 10 minutes of work. All right, so now we are going to create we're going to create a roadside sign, and we're going to do it using a blank scene. So I'm going to start with just a brand new project. All right, so Chand is asking, can we import any 3D model file? And you absolutely can. And the way you do that is like importing any other object. You go to import, and then you find that file, and then you're going to bring it in right there. So if you do want to make something in SketchUp or Blender or 3ds Max or whatever you have it in, you can definitely import those in. The custom sign creator tool is just to speed that up, so you don't have to make them anywhere else. Great question. All right, so let's go back to our creation tools. And we're going to do a roadside sign, and we're going to have those same 2 options that we had before, which is current scene or blank scene. And we want to do a blank scene in this scenario. And even if you were in like the Boulder City project before, it's going to still look like this on the blank scene. So we have a lot of options here, which is we can have a single pole, which is a small road sign, or we can have a medium road sign, which is a double pole. And it's going to work the same way as it did in the other one, where you go in and edit the sign detail and you can add the text. Let's do a small road sign. Again, it's trying to make it so you don't override your stuff. You can adjust the pole height, the pole diameter, and you can adjust the shape. So let's use, you could do triangle, square, upside down triangle like a yield sign, you can do diamond, or you can do octagon. So let's do a diamond, and then you can adjust the primary color of the sign. So you want to turn up your color and then move it over, but you could literally do any color you can imagine. So we'll do a yellow one, and you can adjust it using these values in addition to this color wheel. And then the secondary color is the edge of that. So typically it's, at least here in the States, it's just going to be black. And then you can adjust the sign scale too. And then in addition to that, let's make that 1. In addition to that, you can add a secondary sign, which is kind of the same process. And if you want that to be rectangular, you can go to scale, unlink them, and do something like this. And this is very common, again, here in the States. So, and then the offset adjusts where that is, and then we can adjust the color. So we had, let's see what happens if I do 1 and 81. Oh, that's the edge. So let's go back to just 0 and 0 and make this one 0.81 and this one 0. All right, so now those match. So we want to edit sign detail, and let's select whichever sign we want. So let's edit the top one first. And this is going to be, again, you can import your own custom decal, but we want to use the decals from here. So you can have up to 3 decals, and we're going to do the first one. You can do an arrow, and you can have all of these directions. So there are a ton, or all of these decals, sorry. So there are a ton of options, and we can adjust them from there. You can even do a roundabout. You can do a worker. You can do a bus stop, and you can do all of these different ones. So let's do pedestrian. And then if the scale's off a little bit, you can also flip the decal. You can adjust the position, and then you can adjust the scale. We're going to unlink it a little bit and then move it over. And then you can also add text. We're not going to do text on this one, but we'll do text on the bottom. And on this one, we'll have it just say slow. So actually, let's go back and go to this one and add school above that. Pretty common sign. So we're going to want to move our decal up a little bit. And then let's add some school, or some text where it says school, and then lower that and shrink that. So those of you working in the sign world are probably screaming because I didn't do that exactly correct. But that's how easy it is to create these signs, and you can do any of those shapes, any of those colors, any of those decals, even your custom decals. You can create any sign imaginable using this really easy to use system. You click publish, and now you can put it in the scene wherever you want. So it's backwards of the other one where you put it in the scene first and then you edit it. In this one, you edit it first and then you put it in the scene. And then once you click it, then it will show up in the Organize tab right here. And that's where you can phase it. You can put it in a folder. You can turn it on and off. You can adjust it with the transform gizmo, which is what we call this guy. So there are a ton of options there. I did want to show how you can import your own image file. So let's go back to Creation Tools, and let's see if I can do it with the roadside sign. Let's go to Current Scene, Confirm Placement, and then we want to make this a medium road sign. And so I think you just go to Import Custom Decal. So let's go to this. I don't think it worked because it was a PNG. So let me go back and do this with an overhead sign. So we're going to quit, Yes, we know that it won't be saved. Overhead sign. So let's do current scene and then confirm placement. And then we're going to select that. So from that, let's go to edit sign detail. So again, I think this is how you do it. I haven't done this in a while. All right, I'm going to create a separate video showing how to do this because I can't. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. That's how you do it. So let's change the scale and the position. So it took me a minute, but that's how you import your own sign. This one's a circle. It doesn't fit on there. But those of you using software like CAD, you'll know how to export those as JPEGs. And so you just do exactly what I did, and you place it on the sign structure, and then you're set. Then you can create these signs super quick. They're going to be in your project. They're going to look really good, and you'll be able to visualize your project in no time at all. So let me go back. Let me quit. I'm not going to save it. But you can, with the street sign, you just do it where it creates two signs perpendicular to each other. And that's a really good way to quickly create a sign on the corner of your street. So this is Sam Lytle going through these. Again, you can try Beyond CAD for yourself. Go to beyondcad.com, sign up. You'll get a link. You can go and download it and try it out for yourself. And it's the full version. It just has watermarks. And once you want to subscribe, you can go and put in the subscription ID you get with your subscription, and it will just remove the watermarks. You don't have to download it again. You can always reach out to me, sam@beyondcad.com. We have a lot of tutorials, a lot of information available on our website to help you get through it. But if you need more help, just reach out to me, and I'd love to jump on a call with you. So with that, I will see you in the next